How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video. By the way, we're in a new studio. Let us know what you think in the comments below with the backdrop and everything. We'll do a studio tour at some point as well, so you get to see everything that's behind the scenes and all the setup and all that kind of stuff. But I digress. Today we're going to be looking at the Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. Mouthful. But yeah, this was announced the other day and it was sent to me before, but I've just been busy, just haven't had time to actually get into it. But without further chat, let's unbox it and do a tour of what the device is actually about. So inside the box, you get a SIM ejector tool, so you can use that to replace the SIM card in there. It's actually a dual SIM setup, so you can use that for 2 SIM cards around the world if you're someone who travels a lot. Elsewhere, we get a user manual guide, user guide, and all that kind of stuff, all the booklets that you get in there, so you get that in there as well. And then you get your silicone case, which keeps your device nice and secure, and also pristine if you want to keep it looking fresh for a prolonged period of time. So that's also in the packaging. And of course, we are greeted with the device itself. So the Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. It's got writing on the back for 200 megapixel, and this is the sky blue version, and it has 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage in there. But we'll come back to that and talk more about what this is all packing inside. In the box, we also get a 120 watt super fast charger. So this will charge your device up super quickly, and this is becoming the norm now. So I'm glad that's included in the box. And you get a USB-A to USB-C cable. So you can use this for data transfer and also for charging your device back up very quickly. So let's move on to the device and see what the device actually is all about. So, like I said, this is the sky blue version, and on the right side we get the volume rocker power button, which also doubles up as your fingerprint sensor, which is pretty cool. It's actually pretty fast, as you can see there, just logs you on very quickly and straight away. Lock that back up for now. And then on the bottom we have our SIM card tray, so dual SIM card tray, and we have a USB-C port, microphone and speaker grill next to it. This is actually kind of nice and slim as well. It's got this nice feel to it, which I really like. I like this color as well. Up top we have another speaker grill. We have a 3.5mm headphone port, which is rare these days, and you also get your infrared blaster up top as well, and a microphone there as well. On the left side, it just sits flush. There's nothing there at all. And up front, we have a front-facing camera, and let's just get in there and see this thing get set up as well. Starting with the display, we have a 6.67 Full HD Plus Flow AMOLED display, and it has refresh of up to 120 Hz with 900 nits peak brightness, and this is 2400 by 1080p when it comes to resolution, and it's finished in Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection, so that should be scratch resistant and protect you to a certain extent when it comes to the drop as well. On the front, we have a 16 megapixel front facing camera. Actually, this has a screen protector pre-installed, which is a bonus as well. So that camera on the front can do 1080p at 30 frames and 60 frames per second, and can also shoot 720 at 30 frames per second and slow motion 720 at 120 frames per second. On the back for the camera, we have a 200 megapixel camera. It's a triple camera setup. So the main camera is 200 megapixel with f1.65. It's 16.1 binning into what you've got there for that 200 megapixel. And you then have a 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera at f2.2 with 119 degrees field of view, and a 2 megapixel macro camera at f2.4. The main camera can shoot 4K at up to 30 frames per second, 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second, 720 at 30 frames per second, and you can shoot slow-mo at 1080p at 120 frames per second. Or if you want to go wild, you can also shoot 720p at 120, 240 and 960 frames per second. So you are getting a lot for your money there. By the way, this is also available in black as well, and polar white. So midnight black, this one which is sky blue, and polar white version that's available to you. In terms of spec, just to dive a bit deeper, so you have 8 gigabytes of RAM, like I said already. You have LPDDR4X and UFS 2.2 storage, and that's up to 256 gigabytes of internal storage. There's no memory card expansion slots on this. It's running on Dimensity, MediaTek Dimensity 1080 as well, and it's running on MIUI 14.0.5, which is the stable version. So this should be pretty fluid and smooth as well. Let's do a quick tour of the rest of the phone so you see what you're actually getting. So if we start from the main screen, so we can swipe across, nice and smooth. There's no glitches there at all. It just works really well, which is really good. It fills you with confidence for a phone that costs £449 here in the UK. If we go into settings, see what we get. So about phone, which tells you all the details about the device itself, including updating the device itself. Moving on, we have our connectivity settings. So Wi-Fi, this is 5G compatible as well. You can see your SIM card settings and so on. And then under the next segment, we have always on display. So you can have always on display on here with different variety of user interface and the way the design is as well, so you can modify that to suit your preference. Come out of that, we have our display settings. So we go into display settings, we can go light mode or dark mode, and then we can go all the way down to see things like your font settings and so on. But what we want to see here is our refresh rate. So in the refresh rate, we can go standard or high refresh rate. So the default is just what's recommended on there, or we can go custom and we can select different refresh rates. So we can go between 60 Hertz and go all the way to 120 Hertz, which is pretty smooth for those who likes to game. And just generally just the way the phone just is going to be smooth to use when browsing the web, reading books, etc. We come out of this and we scroll further down and see what else we have. We have plenty of wallpaper options available as well, as always on Xiaomi devices. So you got pictures, you got different themes that you can download to the phone and customize it, make it your own. Go further down, you've got your security settings. So like I said earlier, you got fingerprint unlock. You also got face unlock as well. And you can use pattern and a good old pin code unlock, so you can easily get into your device. For battery, this has a 5,000 mAh battery, and again for £449, I think that's a bargain. You're getting big battery, fast charge, good processing speed, great display, and this has 120 Hz refresh as well. So there's a lot that you get in here for your money. Let's go into camera and see what that looks like as well, so we can see what you actually get. So on the camera interface, we have ultra wide there. We have standard 1x wide camera, and we have 2x zoom as well. We have this feature here which allows for filters, so you can just select different filters, and you got beauty mode as well, which I mostly turn off if I'm going to be using that. So go back to 1x. On the bottom we have document, videos. We can shoot portrait mode as well, and we also have night mode, which is pretty good. And then we have more, which allows us to then go into that ultra HD mode, so you can shoot in that full 200 megapixel mode, which tells you right on the top corner there. And then tap that again, you get more settings that you can play with. But the main one that we want to look at there is that 200 megapixel mode, which is pretty neat. So tap that, it tells you that it's on, and then now you're ready to shoot high resolution photos. That's pixel binned, and then you can do all kind of editing afterwards if you want to do that kind of stuff. And if we go into video, we tap this top one here, top menu here, we see all the frame rates that we can shoot on. So we have 720 there, we got 1080p, we got 1080p at 60 frames and 4K at 30 frames per second. Again, you can shoot high resolution videos on this thing, and it costs just £449. So that's incredible. And then if we go to Pro mode as well, we have Pro mode. And in Pro mode, you can adjust things like your white balance, ISO settings, shutter speed, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big bonus. In Pro mode, you can shoot 50 megapixel. So again, instead of shooting at 200 megapixel, you can shoot 50 megapixel, which in most cases, in my opinion, I think 50 megapixel is actually much better than shooting in 200 megapixel. So, and you save memory space as well. Instead of shooting big files in 200 megapixel, you can shoot slightly less bigger files at 50 megapixel and still get a really good resolution that you can punch in afterwards, you can crop in and do all that kind of stuff. If we go into front facing camera, so if we get to video, flip it around, you can see the camera up top there on the screen. So yeah, you got options there as well for 1080p at up to 60 frames per second. Again, brilliant for capturing yourself on the go, creating content, vlogging, all that kind of stuff. It's there, and it's got stabilization as well, so that's very good. But in a nutshell, that's everything you get on this. Just a quick overview and sort of unboxing and show you the device itself, and I'll get on with the review and come back with a review as well. But make sure you follow me online so you see some sample photos. In the meantime, if this is your first time around here, please smash the subscribe button and the notification as well, so you get notified every time there's a new video up on the channel like this one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.